Hi, I'm Eric Lee with Starfish Coaching. In this episode of my Business Tips for Designers series, I'd like to break down the pros and cons of starting your own interior design business. Okay, before you jump into starting your own interior design business, you should really research about it. It is not all glamorous and fun like what HGTV makes it out to be. So here are some honest, real-world pros and cons coming from an industry veteran, yours truly. Definitely weigh this out before you jump into starting your own interior design business. I also want to differentiate that starting your business and growing your business are two very different things. I did another episode that does talk about the pros and cons of growing a business, so if you're curious about it, check it out. Now let's start with the pros of starting your own design business. 1. Time autonomy. Most people start their business because of this. They might have had a bad boss or just didn't like to have their time dictated by someone else. In this case, you do have autonomy because you are your own boss. The small warning here is that many people don't consider that you still have to answer to clients. So learning how to manage this is very important. Also, in the beginning of starting your own business, you will likely have to spend more time than what you would have if you worked for someone. So as long as you understand that, then you are much more open to structure your time however you like. 2. Build your own brand. Starting your own design business does allow you to build a brand for yourself. And if you build your business well, then you will have a cachet to your design brand, and this is worth something at the end of your career. So some people do think about this, and they would rather put their efforts into building their own brand rather than building someone else's. 3. Dictate your own style. Having your own design business means that you get to dictate your design style. Depending on which firms you've worked for, this is not always possible. For instance, some design firms have a signature style, and this is very much controlled by the creative director or the principal. So if you are someone who wants that freedom of setting and expressing your personal style, then this is an advantage to consider. 4. Limitless income. Building a business right means that you don't have a cap on your earning potential for the business. Look at the big design firms and the big revenues that they bring in and compare this to the salary if you were working as a designer, and you understand what I mean by limitless income. But having said that, I'm not going to sit here and mislead you to think that it comes easily. It takes a lot of work to build a business right so that it can be profitable. So yes, the reward is great, but there are a lot of risks and learnings that you have to be ready to take along the way. Okay, these may all sound great, but make sure you consider the downsides too. These are the cons of starting your own design business. 1. You have more risk than a job. Having a job is much easier and safer than running your own business. As an employee, you are sheltered from all the business operations and risk. But once you start your own business, you'll be responsible for all the stuff outside of just being a designer. You'll be now responsible for the business operations, the sales, the marketing, the administration of the business, pretty much everything because it's your business. Number 2, starting a business will require more time and give you less pay in the beginning. Many people don't understand this until they start their own business. So I'll save you the rude awakening now. The early days of starting a business means that you will have to put in more time and get less pay than you will with a job. There are many aspects to running a business that needs time dedicated to it outside of the scope of being a designer. So you can think of it as doing 2 jobs at once. And almost always, you as the business owner will be paid last after all the expenses and salaries of your employees. This is very typical of any startup, and it's something that you have to be ready to go through to get that prize of a successful, profitable company in the end. 3, you will have to do a bunch more learning. As I pointed out before, there's a lot more learning that you did not get in design school that you have to learn now as a business owner. You can either do it the slow way, as trial and error, or get some business education to shortcut that learning path. In design school, you were trained to be a designer, but when you start your own business, you have to learn how to run a business. 4, it's a lonelier path. Although I'm a serial entrepreneur and I've built multiple companies, I would have to say that it's a lonely path. There are many times in my business building journey that I really wish I had someone whom I can share my struggles with. But the nature of being a business owner, a CEO, means that you can't share everything with your employees. And also, you don't really have peers that you can confide in because many of those are your competitors. This is unlike being an employee where you can easily talk to your manager or your colleagues or even your peers from school. So there you have it, an honest, real-world look at the pros and cons of starting your design business. Give it some serious thought before jumping into starting your business. If you feel you may be ready, then hop on over to my Designers Business Academy website where you can get a free readiness assessment and business startup checklist to help you on your journey. I'll put the link in the description. Make sure you subscribe and follow this channel because I'll be continuing to bring super valuable content in my Business Tips for Designer series. I'm Eric Lee and I can turbocharge your success.